Okay, we've started a new scene here. I just cut the video. I edited it a little bit so that I could have more recording time before the camera dies. The camera's going to take a poop. Anyway, so next we need to set up IP forwarding, because what's going to really happen is when you send a request, let me see if I can find that image real fast. Where the heck is that? No. It's right here. So this is the after image. So if you think about it, what's going to happen is when your clients send a signal, to the Pi is not the internet, the Pi is just connected to your router. The Pi then needs to forward the data, the packets, whatever, to its other interface. So this is like, wireless LAN 1, and this is like wireless LAN 0, if you recall. So we need to set up an ability to forward packets between interfaces, so that we can get the packets to wireless LAN 0, and then they'll eventually end up being sent to the router. So that's the basic idea of what we're doing now. And then also IP masquerading. So I'm going to close this and then go back to the Pi here. We just need to edit a command real fast. Let's see. So there's a configuration file called system control in the etc. directory. So we can do cat system control.configuration. A lot of its stuff is grayed out, or I guess like not configured by default. So if we edit it, wait, what's going on there? Dude, what is happening? Did you see that? Oh, I did sudo nano. That was dumb. So a lot of these options are just, they're commented out. They're not like enabled. So this is a good idea for security purposes, but we definitely need to forward. So I'm going to uncomment net.ipv4.ip forward equals 1 to enable IP forwarding on IPv4. And then I'm going to uncomment the next one for IPv6 forwarding. Even though we're not setting up IPv6 in this video, it'll be a pain in the butt if you start trying to set up IPv6 on your own later and you forget to come back to this file. So that's what I'm going to do. So we can immediately apply the changes with this command if we want to. I'm just going to put it on the screen real fast, but we don't need to because I'm going to do a reboot after we set this up. So the next thing we need is we actually need to install a firewall so that we can keep persistent firewall rules that will help us IP masquerade. At least this is the way I know how to do it. So by default, this operating system doesn't actually have IP tables installed. The Pi is totally open and unprotected. Kind of weird, but okay. So I'm going to go sudo apt install IP tables so I can get a firewall. And then I'm going to install IP tables persistent. Actually, let's do persistent later so that we don't have to do any other commands. When you install persistent, it'll grab whatever's already in there and just make it persistent. So you don't even have to remember extra commands. If you're wondering why we're installing a firewall at this point, it's not necessarily to protect the Pi, although we can use that to protect the Pi pretty soon, or like later, but it's really so that we can have masquerading work, which is, in this case, it's very closely related to forwarding data from the two network adapters. So I'm going to go, so we just installed IP tables. I'm going to say IP tables list. All the rules are empty. Everything is open. The firewall is really letting everything through. So then I'm going to do sudo IP tables, network address translation, post routing. If the source is coming from, if the source is coming from your access point, and it's trying to go out to the Ethernet adapter, that's wrong. That's not going to work for our purposes eventually. We'll say the judgment is that it's okay to masquerade. We should replace this with wireless LAN 0 also so that they both work. Basic idea is if a client of the Pi access point is sending information into the Pi, like it's making a web request, then we're saying it's okay to masquerade as that IP address as we send the data along to either the Ethernet port or the wireless LAN port. So I put both of those in there because I want it to work for both. You may only need to put wireless LAN 0 or whatever your adapter is for the one that's making the primary connection to the original router. So now let's make the rules permanent with IP tables save, sudo apt install IP tables. Oh wait, no, we don't even necessarily need to use save if we just install persistent after we did it. Whoops, apt install persistent, because I think it'll ask us if we want to save the rules right now. Yeah, right. Okay, so I'm going to say yeah, so I can save myself some commands. Yeah, go ahead and save them. If you installed persistence right away, you could either uninstall them and then reinstall them, I guess. Otherwise, the command is basically this, to take whatever rules are currently inside of IP tables and then just send them into that saved rules file. And then you would do the same thing for the v6 if you wanted IPv6. Double check what has been saved with this command. So we'll say sudo cat, and then that's the file where the rules are saved. So it's telling me, yeah, they are saved. So if I reboot the Pi, the rules should still be there now. And then we have enough time to set up the access point. We are very, very, very close. Yeah, it's probably actually going to work now. Let's set up the access point, and yeah, I'll show you how to do a debug thing after this. I'm not going to do it so you can see, but I'll show you how to do it. Anyway, so let's set up the access point. Remember, we're only connected with one of the radios right now. So sudo network manager, command line interface connection show, and we're only connected as a client. So now we need to do this, sudo network manager, command line interface connection add, not device Wi-Fi connect, but connection add. The type is going to be Wi-Fi. And then we're going to specify the interface name as wireless LAN 1. That's the dongle that we installed earlier. And then we're going to set into access point mode. So that's mode AP. And then I'm just going to set the connection name to become access points. You can obviously set this to whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. And then we have to set the SSID. Probably this should be different than your main router because we're not doing like WDS, roaming access points or anything like that. This is going to be a totally separate access point with a totally separate network. We're just going to eventually make it work so that we can route between the two networks seamlessly so that it'll feel like one network, but it's technically another subnet at least. So choose something for your SSID that your neighbors won't call the police about. I'm going to do well la di frickin' da. And then we'll set a password. So I'm going to just make up a random password right now in another window, and then I can change it later, I guess. This thing is not working. Hello? Okay, I'm just going to copy paste a random password. So I'll set the, let's see, what is it? 802.11 wireless security. Oh, you know what? It's probably easier if I just do this from inside Network Manager. So I added the connection. The SSID is well lottie freaking da. Then I can just kind of show the connections. Become access point is not up yet, so I'm going to edit it. Connection edit, become access point. So now it's, I don't know, for me it's a little bit easier to edit all these things. So I'm going to do set 802.11. 802.11 is kind of like, the wireless family of standards. .band. Oh, for the band, depending on your dongle, you might want 2.4 gigahertz or 5 gigahertz, also depending on your country. For me, I'm going to try to get this on 5 gigahertz, so that is band A. I think the other band is either... Actually, you know what? Network Manager will tell me. Yeah, BG. I was going to say just G by itself, yeah. So I'm going to do A, because I want 5 gigahertz, at least for this. Then I'm going to do set the wireless security property of the key management, and I'm going to set it to basically a pass key, or like a passphrase. Some of these settings are probably going to be out of date by the time you watch this video, so you might want to go look up the latest, or ask me a million times to provide an updated video, I guess, although this took like hours and hours and hours just to even record. I'm kind of over it, to be honest. I hope this works for everybody, because regardless, I'm eating an entire pizza by myself when this is finished. Let's see, group, let's see, proto group. pairwise. So we're just typing stuff now. PSK, so that's the password. So then I'm going to paste the random password that I just came up with, and then hit enter to get that in there. And then we're going to set up the IP address. Remember, this is another adapter. We still need to set its IP address. So IPv4.addresses. I've got to do set. Sorry, address is 192.168.5.1, which is what we decided on, and then block 24. Yes to manual, and then I'm going to set its gateway to nothing. Oh, the gateway has to be empty. I made this mistake earlier. If you actually set the gateway to something, like you probably want to do 192.168.1.1, if you do that, then the access point will tell all of its clients that the gateway is 1.1, but the problem is they can't actually access 1.1, so they'll just be offline. So you need to make sure probably that the gateway is empty. So we'll do print IPv4. Notice how the gateway is empty, DNS is empty, DNS search is empty. They all should just be empty because we want the information to come from elsewhere, at least on that. So we want DNS mask to tell them everything. If those have values, you can basically say remove IPv4 dot addresses, and then it should work. So let's see, what else do I have to add? Addresses, gateway, DNS search, and then we'll print 802.11 wireless security just to double check it, make sure that you've entered all the right values, and then print the IPv4 block again just to double check it, and then hit save. If you have an error here, you might want to type fix verify, or maybe just go look at all the settings again. But I saved it. It seems to have worked. So I can now quit. And then, actually, maybe I should tell it to start automatically. Let me just double check. Print the connection properties. Does it say auto connect? Yes. Okay, so now the access point should automatically come up whenever the Pi boots. If we're lucky, we're incredibly close right now. So I'm going to open up another window, and I just want you to kind of see what's going on here, or how I was debugging my connection. Because in the beginning, when I was first learning how to do this, I was like, where are the packets going? Is it even trying? So for me, I made several windows like this. If your terminal doesn't split windows, too bad for you. Mine is called Terminator. You can find it pretty easily. It's sudo apt install terminator. But what you want to do is SSH into the Ethernet of the Pi 3 times. So I'm going to do that. And then, oh God. Is that why that color code shows up? I think I just figured something out. So you want to do it 3 times. And then you want to label each window. So this window is going to be wireless LAN 0. Depending on your terminal, you might have to do labeling differently. Wireless LAN 1, and then I'm going to do Ethernet 0 on this one. So we have 3 terminals, one for each interface, network interface, and I'm basically just going to watch packets on every single interface. So inside of the Pi, I'm going to first say sudo apt install TCP Dump. That's a special program that lets you watch packets as they're traveling all around your network cards and stuff like that. So sudo apt install TCP dump. Then the command is sudo TCP dump, and then -i to specify an interface, and then we'll specify Ethernet 0 here, and then here we'll specify wireless LAN 0. We'll just match the windows. That's why I labeled the windows. And then here we'll do wireless LAN 1. And then, so what you'll want to do is hit enter on each of these windows, and you'll see like a huge stream of data. You want to filter the data by something that's useful for you. Otherwise, it'll be like way too much data to even understand. So for me, I filtered it by ICMP echo. And then what I was doing is I was basically just pinging servers. Like I was pinging inside of the Pi, I was having it ping itself, and then I was having it ping like my router. Then I was trying to have it ping clients, and then I was having the clients ping the Pi and ping the router, and then finally start pinging the internet. You're just doing pings all over the place in order to try to narrow down what might be wrong with your situation. If you follow this tutorial, probably it'll be fine. But like for me, I like to debug And things were going wrong when I was first learning this. So this was super, super helpful. I just want you to know. Here's a problem though. Every time you reboot the Pi, let me do that right now. You do sudo reboot. Every time you reboot the Pi, you lose connections to all the other windows. So then you have to like log back into the Pi and then type out the command all over again. So instead, a nice shortcut could be something like this. SSH into the Pi. SSH Pi at 192.168.1.123. And then in quotes or single quotes, I'm going to do single quotes on the outside and then double quotes on the inside because you kind of have to use different quotes. Now what's going to happen is when I go into the Pi, it's going to log into the Pi and immediately start doing the TCP dump for me. So that means when I get booted, I just have to hit the up arrow and I can immediately go back into the Pi and I don't have to type out the commands again. Let me show you real fast with a slightly different way. So I'm going to go SSH Pi at 192.168.1.123 and then do a single quote. And instead of doing TCP dump, I'm just going to type echo by itself. So notice how it logs in. Oh, I didn't echo anything. Hello. It logs in, it prints hello, and then it logs out. So now I'm kicked out of the Pi. Let's pretend that we lost internet or network. I just hit the up arrow and hit enter. So it's like so fast. You don't have to type all those letters again. So I'm not going to debug here. I'll do that in another window if I really need to, but I just wanted you to know. And it's fun. It's fun to know when things are really starting to work. In the meantime, it looks like the Pi has probably rebooted. Now let's try some... Well, we know that the Pi's network works for itself. So now the next step is, how can we prove that this access point actually works? Oh my gosh. I think I'm going to cut the video so that I can show you that it works by logging into a virtual machine that's inside of this virtual machine that I'm recording on. It's probably going to be super slow. We'll see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to cut the scene right now. When I come back, we'll be logging into a virtual machine. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video again. From the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate it. I do hope you did learn something and have some fun. If you could do me a small little favor, could you please subscribe and follow this channel or these videos or whatever it is you do on the current social media website that you're looking at right now. It would really mean the world to me, and it'll help make more videos and grow this community. So we'll be able to do more videos, longer videos, better videos, or just I'll be able to keep making videos in general. So please do me a kindness and subscribe. You know, sometimes I'm sleeping in the middle of the night and I just wake up because I know somebody subscribed or followed. It just wakes me up and I get filled with joy. That's exactly what happens every single time. So you could do it as a nice favor to me, or you could troll me if you want to just wake me up in the middle of the night. Just subscribe and then I'll just wake up. I promise that's what will happen. Also, if you look at the middle of the screen right now, you should see a QR code which you can scan in order to go to the website, which I think is also named somewhere at the bottom of this video. And it'll take you to my main website where you can just kind of like see all the videos I published and the services and tutorials and things that I offer and all that good stuff. And if you have a suggestion for clarifications or errata or just future videos that you want to see, please leave a comment. Or if you just want to say, hey, what's up? What's going on? You know, just send me a comment. Whatever. I also wake up for those in the middle of the night. I wake up in a cold sweat and I'm like, it would really mean the world to me. I would really appreciate it. So again, thank you so much for watching this video, and enjoy the cool music as I fade into the darkness which is coming for us all.